We're going to be talking about how you can use the powerful process of acting as if without feeling a lot of resistance, without feeling fake. This is something that came up in the comments in another video where I was talking about acting as if. And someone said, yeah, but every time I do, I just kind of feel fake. I don't feel like myself. And I almost encounter more resistance than I did when I don't act as if, right? So I'm going to kind of discuss the answer to that question in this video today, how you can act as if doing the stuff that you want in order to attract it, but how you can do it without feeling so fake. Okay, so the process of acting as if, it's a law of attraction process. If you didn't see a previous video on there, basically what it means is if we act as if we already have the manifestation that we want, if we act as if we already have the reality which we desire, it will come to us. And this is very simple, comes down to vibration, right? If we vibrate at the frequency of what we want, we will attract what we want. So if we start acting as if we are who we want to be now, acting as if we have what we want to have now, acting abundant now, whatever it is, we will then attract it. It will actually become our reality. And some people run into some problems and they'll say like something along the lines of, well, you know, I want to attract more abundance in my life, but I have trouble faking that I feel abundant now, right? I have trouble, and my ego kind of chips in and says, no, you're not abundant now. You don't have any money. You don't have anything now. So it's this idea of feeling fake and kind of hitting that brick wall a little bit. And so an easy way to try to overcome this idea of feeling fake, it really comes down to three ways, breaking it down slowly. Okay, the way we think, the way we act, and the way we feel. All these things create our vibration. Okay, all these things create our vibration, which of course will then attract the reality we want. How we think, how we feel, how we act. When we start to slowly change these, we begin to change into who we want to be. We begin to change the reality that we want to have. So by slowing it down and breaking it down by these three things, think, feel, and act, and just trying to accomplish one at a time slowly, we can shift into that acting as if phase without running into resistance, because we're doing it slowly and slowly and slowly. We're not just dropping everything and saying, now I'm this, which is possible for some, you can do it. But for those of you that are struggling, really break it down to think, feel, and act. And I can relate this into my own life when I was starting to run half marathons. And I had ran a little bit in high school, some in college a little bit, and then I took several years off running, and then all of a sudden someone invited me to come run a half marathon. And I was like, oh man, like I'm not a half marathon runner. I can't do that. Like I'm not in shape to do that. That's the furthest distance I ever ran. And so in order to get in that place to be able to run the marathon, I had to start acting as if I was a half marathon runner already, that I did run long distances already. And so I broke that down between thinking, feeling, and acting. And sometimes these aren't in the exact same order. Sometimes you have to skip ahead and do one before the other. But first I'd start thinking that I am a half marathon runner now. You know, this is who I am. I am a runner. I am someone that can run long distances. I've ran this many miles before, so this is nothing. I am that person. And then from there, I am that person. I started kind of sinking into that. And then I said, okay, if I am that already, what would I do? What actions would I take? Well, running would be a priority in my life. I'd probably have to run at least 5 days a week, pretty decent distances, and probably, as a runner would think, first thing in the morning is the best time to run. You get it over with. It's cooler outside. I live in Florida, so that's one of the things. It's cooler outside if you get it done first thing in the morning. And if it tends to rain here, it's going to rain in the afternoon. And so I was like, okay, I'm thinking like a runner, and now I got to start acting. I got to start doing this. Even if I'm not feeling on board yet, I just got to start taking this action, running every morning that I can, going long distances. And when I start kind of feeling about it, I got to think back to, no, I am a runner. This is what I do. And then eventually after doing that, not too long, maybe 5 days, maybe 1 week after doing it, I started feeling like I was a runner, like I was a half marathon, like this is a part of me. The thinking and acting were enough to generate the feelings. Dr. Joe Dispenza talks about this a lot. When you think and then you start acting, your brain fires certain neurons, starts to repattern, and starts to get your emotions on your side, and you start to actually feel like that's who you are. And so literally a week into running, a week into training for a half marathon, I already felt like I was a half marathon runner, even though I had never done it before in my life. I was like, this is who I am. This is what I do. It was a very powerful experience, and it just slowly became acting as if. It wouldn't have worked if I just hopped right in and said, yeah, but I'm a half marathon runner, woohoo. It's like, okay, now what? Like, okay, let me run now. Let me try this now. It was no. It would have been all over the place. I probably would have hurt myself thinking I could go all these long distances. It was just very small steps into thinking, acting, and then allowing the feelings to come in. And so that's what we have to do when we want to act as if there's a certain thing we want in our reality. If we want abundance, for instance, okay, how can I start thinking abundantly right now? Maybe I don't have any money in the bank account, but I can start looking at all the other abundance that I have in my life. Maybe I feel abundant because of the abundance of food that I have in my refrigerator. Maybe the abundance of love that I have in my life. Maybe the abundance of, flowers in the ground. The abundance of birds in the sky. The abundance of sun that's shining, whatever it is. You can see a lot of abundance in the world. You turn on your sink, your faucet, and look at all the water that's running down. That's abundance. A lot of people have never seen that ever before. They have to go miles to get water. And here we flip on a faucet and the water pours out. That's abundant. That's abundant. You can take things a step further. If your bank account has like $10 in it, take a screenshot of the $10 and put it in Photoshop and add some zeros and paste it back in. I used to do that all the time. And so you see your actual bank account page, but it actually says $1 million instead of 10. And just look at that. And just look at that. And if you just look at it, you'll start kind of thinking in that way. You'll start kind of thinking as a millionaire. It will come automatically. Abundantly, how can someone act? Maybe you can abundantly give more love. Abundantly give more, gratitude to people, forgiveness to people, whatever the case is. Maybe you could potentially give some money away, whatever your financial situation. If you have $10 to spare, $5 to spare, you can go on any charitable website and give away $5. I'll let you give away $1. You know what I mean? Very powerful when you start to give money, because the more you give, the more you receive back to you. Remember, money is energy, and money wants to flow. Whatever you spend will come back to you tenfold, will come back to you more. So do those little actions. Start thinking abundantly, start acting abundantly. Very soon you'll start feeling it. Those feelings will start generating automatically, and you will feel abundance, and you'll receive inspired ideas for things for you to do to create even more abundance if stuff doesn't automatically come to you. I've told stories where I've done this and randomly received checks in the mail from like the IRS, random stuff. One time I was kind of doing this, and all of a sudden a manager came up to me at the place that I worked and said, hey, here's $500, congratulations. I was like, what? And he's like, you referred 2 people to the job here. And I was like, yeah, but I didn't know you got money. He's like, no, it was a program we just started like 2 weeks ago. And it was like, so I got $250 per everybody that I recommended. That was never a thing, but it just so happened that on the day I referred them, it started becoming a thing. Interesting. Okay, coincidence? I think not. It was something more powerful than that. So that can happen too, but you also receive inspiring ideas to take forth certain action, inspired action that will create more abundance. So really it comes down to that. Thinking, acting, feeling. Those 3 things, doing them slowly, starting with thinking, maybe even incorporating some feeling if it's possible beforehand, and taking the action. Or as I like to do it, think about it, get those affirmations going, act like it, and then the feelings will come. It's very, very powerful. If you follow those steps slowly, break it down day by day, week by week, you will start to become what you are without even having any resistance whatsoever, without your ego saying, no, you're not this, no, you're not that, because you'll be it. You will be it before you even start acting like it. You will be it by breaking it down and doing it slowly. Very, very powerful if you can do this in your own life, which I know you're more than capable of doing it. If I could do it, if anybody else can do it, what's possible for one is possible for you. What's possible for all is absolutely possible for you. So can't wait for you to try this in your own life.